Earth had always been a part of the Galactic Council, a prestigious organization of advanced civilizations that ruled the stars. For centuries, humanity had worked side by side with the other galactic members, contributing to peace and prosperity across the galaxy. But that all changed in an instant. One fateful day, without warning, Earth was suddenly exiled from the Galactic Council. The announcement came like a thunderbolt, shattering the peaceful atmosphere that had enveloped the Earth for so long. There was no warning, no discussion, and no explanation. The Council simply declared that Earth no longer belonged, and the humans were cast out. The news hit the people of Earth like a tidal wave. The governments were stunned, the leaders baffled. The shockwaves of the decision spread across the planet, leaving humanity in a state of confusion and fear. What had they done wrong? Why had the Council turned on them so suddenly? On Earth's crowded streets, there were whispers of betrayal. Many feared that there was a deeper, darker reason behind this exile. Some suggested that Earth had become too powerful, too influential. Others believed it was a conspiracy by other alien factions within the Council who were jealous of Earth's rapid advancements. The most terrifying thought of all was that Earth was being set up for something far worse. Could the exiling be a prelude to war? Or worse, the beginning of Earth's destruction? Amidst the chaos, a secret meeting took place in the highest chambers of Earth's military command. Top generals and scientists gathered to discuss what had happened. They knew they had to act fast. The galaxy had just declared Earth a threat, and the only way to survive was to fight back. But how? How could they stand against the might of the Galactic Council, a coalition of some of the most advanced species in the universe? The answer wasn't clear, but one thing was certain: Earth would not go down without a fight. The people of Earth had always been survivors, and now they would have to rise up and find their strength again. As the first whispers of rebellion began to spread, the people of Earth realized one thing: they were alone in the galaxy now, and they would have to rely on their own power, their own ingenuity, to survive. In the wake of Earth's exile from the Galactic Council, humanity faced an uncertain future. But while the galaxy believed Earth was defeated, behind the scenes, something extraordinary was happening. Earth wasn't as powerless as the Council had hoped. In the shadows of space, deep within forgotten military bases on distant moons, a fleet was being built. For years, humanity had been quietly developing advanced warships, keeping them hidden from the prying eyes of the Galactic Council. Earth's military had anticipated the day when they would be cast aside, and now that moment had arrived. The time had come to unveil their greatest weapon: an unstoppable fleet of massive dreadnoughts and advanced star cruisers, each equipped with powerful, cutting-edge technology. Technology the Council had no idea existed. The first ship to be launched was the Sovereign, Earth's flagship. It was a marvel of engineering, the culmination of humanity's most advanced scientists and military minds working together in secret. It was capable of bending light to hide itself from enemy radar, could generate shields that could withstand the most powerful blasts, and it carried weaponry that would make even the most advanced alien fleets tremble in fear. As the Sovereign slowly left Earth's orbit for the first time, there was a sense of purpose in the air. Humanity was no longer a helpless planet under the Council's thumb. They were no longer just Earth. They were now a force to be reckoned with. The fleet, though small at first, was ready for its first test. Commander Nadia Voss, a brilliant and fearless leader, stood on the bridge of the Sovereign as it sailed through space. Her voice was calm, but there was a fire in her eyes. She knew that the road ahead would be perilous, but she also knew that Earth's survival depended on them taking the fight to the stars. "We are no longer a mere footnote in the galaxy," Commander Voss declared, her voice echoing through the command room. "We will show them that Earth's legacy is one of power and resilience, and it starts now." The Sovereign and its fleet had one mission: to reclaim humanity's place among the stars. But the galaxy wouldn't make it easy. Rumors had already spread about an enemy fleet moving through the dark reaches of space. An ancient, ruthless alien force, the Drakari, had emerged from the far corners of the galaxy. Earth's military was prepared, but these new enemies were unlike any the human fleet had faced before. With the Sovereign at the forefront, Earth's fleet entered the contested sector of space, where intelligence had suggested that the Dracari had been spotted. But as they entered the dark void between the stars, something unexpected happened. A faint signal appeared on the ship's radar, a message, encrypted, but clearly coming from an alien ship in their path. Commander Voss ordered the fleet to hold position. The tension was palpable. What was this message? A trick? A trap? Or had Earth's enemies already made their move? The Sovereign closed in, weapons primed and ready. Every crew member was alert, knowing this would be their first encounter with an enemy they had never faced before. The crew held their breath as the ship approached the source of the signal, preparing for what could be the first battle in a war that would determine the fate of Earth. Then the message arrived. A simple, chilling warning. We know what you've built. Prepare to face the consequences. The crew froze. It was the Dracari, and they were ready to bring the fight to Earth. The quiet preparations were over. Earth was no longer just defending itself. It was about to launch the first assault in a war for its future. As the first blasts of energy erupted from the Sovereign's guns, Earth's fleet understood one thing. They weren't just fighting for survival anymore. They were fighting for their place in the galaxy. The warning from the Dracari echoed through the command deck of the Sovereign, a chilling reminder of the dangerous path Earth had just stepped onto. With the fleet's engines roaring to life, Commander Nadia Voss stood at the helm, her fingers gripping the armrests of her seat. The crew was silent, each person locked in their role, knowing the weight of the mission ahead. The Sovereign's scanners buzzed, picking up the dark silhouettes of enemy ships ahead. The Dracari had no intentions of negotiating. They had come to crush Earth's fleet before it could grow any stronger. The first battle was upon them. Battle stations. Voss's voice rang through the command room. Prepare for evasive maneuvers and defensive fire. All ships, lock on to the Dracari flagship. The fleet's ships, though smaller than the ancient Dracari warships, were nimble, and they had an advantage of surprise. The Sovereign, with its stealth capabilities, could hide in plain sight and strike when least expected. But the Dracari ships were massive, heavily armored, and capable of devastating attacks with their energy-based weaponry. The first shot came without warning, a blast of concentrated plasma that struck one of Earth's smaller ships. The explosion was massive, and for a brief moment, the crew feared the worst. But Commander Voss remained calm. This wasn't the time to panic. Hold steady, she shouted. Return fire with everything we've got. The Sovereign's heavy cannons opened fire, and massive pulses of energy streaked through space, striking the Dracari flagship. For a moment, the stars seemed to light up as both fleets exchanged fire in the emptiness of space. The sound of distant explosions and the hum of the engines were the only things that filled the air. But just when Earth's fleet thought they were gaining ground, a new threat emerged. From the shadow of a nearby moon, a massive Dracari dreadnought appeared, flanked by dozens of smaller cruisers. The sheer size of the dreadnought dwarfed Earth's entire fleet. Brace for impact, Voss ordered, as the Sovereign veered to the side, narrowly avoiding a barrage of plasma bolts. The immense energy from the Dracari dreadnought hit one of Earth's ships head-on, sending it spiraling into the black void, its systems overloaded by the blast. Signal the fleet. Focus all fire on that dreadnought, Voss barked, watching in disbelief as her forces struggled against the sheer might of the Dracari. But then something unexpected happened. The Sovereign, in a daring move, shifted into its stealth mode, vanishing from the Dracari sensors. It was a high-risk maneuver, and it could backfire. If they couldn't escape undetected, the fleet would be easy prey. "I'm taking us in close," Voss announced. "Prepare for a close-range attack." With the Dracari forces still focusing on the other ships in the fleet, the Sovereign moved through the chaos, invisible to enemy sensors. The crew knew this was their only chance. They had to take down the Drakari flagship in one decisive strike. Voss's fingers hovered over the firing controls. The fleet had fought valiantly, but now it was up to her ship to make the difference. She pressed the button, unleashing the Sovereign's most powerful weapon, a concentrated energy pulse capable of piercing the thickest shields in the galaxy. The shot hit the Drakari flagship with a violent tremor that shook the Sovereign to its core. The explosion was deafening, bright enough to be seen from the moon's surface. The flagship staggered, its shields crackling with energy as its hull began to breach. "We've done it," cried one of the engineers on the bridge, his voice filled with disbelief. The Drakari flagship had taken a direct hit, but the battle wasn't over. The remaining Drakari ships, now enraged and out for vengeance, turned their focus on the Sovereign, and the battle intensified once again. For Earth, this was no longer just a fight for survival. It was the first step toward reclaiming their place in the galaxy. Even though the odds were stacked against them, the crew of the Sovereign and Earth's fleet had proven one thing: they weren't going to go down without a fight. As Voss ordered the fleet to regroup, she knew that this battle would send ripples throughout the galaxy. Earth had made its mark, and the universe would never look at humanity the same way again. The Drakari had been shocked by Earth's resilience, but this was only the beginning. The aftermath of the battle between Earth's fleet and the Drakari was felt across the galaxy. The news of Earth's victory, especially the destruction of the Drakari flagship, spread quickly, far faster than Earth's defenders had anticipated. The once-forgotten planet was now being talked about in every corner of the galaxy. But not all reactions were positive. In fact, the most powerful authority in the galaxy, the Galactic Council, had a very different view. The Galactic Council, a union of various species that govern the stars, had long written Earth off as a primitive and insignificant planet. Their decision to exile humanity had been based on Earth's lack of technological advancement compared to other, more established galactic powers. But now, after witnessing the shocking destruction of the Drakari fleet, the Council knew they had underestimated Earth's potential. Council representatives gathered in their Grand Hall, a place where the most influential leaders of the galaxy met to discuss matters of universal importance. Alien species from across the galaxy, all with vast histories of power and war, now looked to one planet with newfound suspicion and fear. "The humans have done the unthinkable," said Jura, the leader of the Teleri species, a race known for their diplomatic skill, but also their swift military prowess. She paced before the assembled leaders, her voice carrying the weight of decades of experience. "Their fleet has shattered our belief that they were nothing more than an insignificant species. It seems they have advanced far beyond what we thought possible." "Yes," added Typhos, the Grecan representative, a creature known for its vast knowledge of technology. "It appears the humans have developed some form of weaponry and tactics we've never encountered before. We must address this, or they will continue to grow stronger." The members of the Galactic Council exchanged worried glances. Earth had violated one of the most sacred rules of the Council. They had started building an empire on their own, without approval. It wasn't just that they had military capabilities. Earth had proven that it could rival even the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. The Council could not ignore this threat, not without action. A tense silence filled the room, broken only by the soft hum of the Council's advanced technology. Then the leader of the Council, the ancient and wise Silora, spoke. Her voice was calm but laced with authority. "Prepare for a response," Silora commanded. "We cannot allow Earth to go unchecked. We must strike before they become a real threat. Deploy the fleet." The decision was made. The Council would not let Earth's newfound power go unchallenged. They would send their most elite forces to crush humanity's budding empire before it could rise too high. As the Council prepared for war, Commander Nadia Voss and the crew of the Sovereign were unaware of the coming storm. They were still celebrating their victory over the Drakari, unaware that their actions had sparked something much larger. Earth's fleet had made a powerful statement, but in doing so, They had earned the attention of the most dangerous forces in the galaxy. The Council's elite war fleet, known for their unrelenting strategies and superior weaponry, began mobilizing. For the first time in history, Earth would face a unified galaxy's wrath. But this wasn't going to be just another battle. It was a war for survival. And Earth had already proven that they would not go down easily. The humans had taken their first steps into the galactic stage. The peaceful days were over, and now a new chapter of war and uncertainty was beginning. Back on Earth, the Sovereign was already making plans to venture deeper into space, scouting for new resources and allies. Commander Voss knew that the Drakari were only the beginning of their journey. But with the Galactic Council now focused on Earth, she realized something even more crucial. They would have to prepare for the ultimate test. As Earth's fleet continued to strengthen, Voss couldn't shake the feeling that a much larger war was brewing. And she knew that Earth's true test would be how well they could handle the pressure of a galaxy now bent on their destruction. With a deep breath, Commander Voss turned to her crew and said, "We've shown them that Earth is a force to be reckoned with. Now it's time to show them that we won't back down." The battle for Earth's future had only just begun. The vastness of space was silent, except for the steady hum of Earth's warships as they moved through the stars. Commander Nadia Voss stood at the helm of the Sovereign, staring out into the black void. After their victory over the Drakari, Earth's fleet had been bolstered by new recruits, more resources, and most importantly, confidence. But now that confidence was being tested in ways they couldn't have imagined. News of the Galactic Council's decision to send its most elite fleet against Earth had reached every corner of human space. Earth's colonies, still adjusting to their new role as a galactic power, braced for the inevitable war. The Council's fleet was unlike anything humanity had ever seen, a unified force of the galaxy's greatest military powers, each species bringing its unique technologies and tactics to the table. They were an overwhelming force, and they were coming for Earth. On the Sovereign, Commander Voss convened a strategy meeting with her top officers. The tension in the room was palpable as maps of the galaxy and tactical simulations played out on the holo display. The crew was exhausted from the constant alert, but there was no time for rest. "The Council is sending their best," said Lieutenant Harper, the fleet's tactical officer. "They'll be here within a few weeks, and they won't be alone. Other alien races will join them, possibly the Zorin, the Verok, and even the Ktar. Their war machines could outclass ours in every way." Voss nodded, her mind racing. The Drakari had been bad enough, but the Council's fleet would be a far more dangerous enemy. Still, she refused to show weakness. Earth had fought and survived countless wars on their home planet. This would be no different. "We've got one advantage," Voss said, looking at the screen in front of her. "They underestimate us. They think we're still the weak, isolated planet they exiled so long ago. But we've learned from every fight, and we've got technology they don't even know exists." Harper raised an eyebrow. "You mean the new weapons from the ancient vaults? The ones we barely understand ourselves?" Voss smiled grimly. "Exactly. Our scientists have unlocked technologies that the Drakari never anticipated. If we can harness them properly, we can level the playing field. But we don't have much time." Lieutenant Harper stood up, pacing. "And what about the colonies? They're not ready for a war like this. We'll need them fully integrated into the fleet if we're going to stand a chance." "I'm already sending word," Voss replied. "Every human outpost, colony, and shipyard will be on high alert. We need every available ship and soldier to join the fight. The Sovereign can't do this alone." A sharp tone cut through the room, signaling an incoming communication. The officer on duty quickly activated the console, and a hologram of Admiral Lucia Griggs appeared. Griggs was one of Earth's most respected military leaders, and she was leading the preparations on Earth's home front. "Commander Voss," Admiral Griggs began, "the Council fleet is moving faster than we thought. Our spies report they're planning to strike a major human colony on the edge of our space to test our defenses. They'll hit there first, then move inward. Voss clenched her fists. We'll stop them before they reach the colonies. I want the fleet to move out immediately and prepare a counterattack. We got to show the Council that Earth isn't backing down. Griggs nodded. Understood, Commander. We'll coordinate with all fleets and move to intercept. As the communication ended, Voss turned to her crew. This is it. The first real test of humanity's resolve. We show the galaxy that we can't be bullied, and we fight with everything we have. The Sovereign moved at full speed toward the predicted location of the Council's first attack. As the ship passed through the dark expanse of space, the crew worked tirelessly, preparing for the incoming battle. Weapons were primed, shields were tested, and the crew's nerves were taut with anticipation. Across Earth's colonies, military leaders were sending their own fleets into position, ready to protect their people at all costs. The message had been clear to every corner of human space. We may be exiled from the Galactic Council, but we are not weak. We will defend our people, our land, and our future. In the blackness of space, Earth's destiny was being forged. A new empire was rising, one that would challenge the galaxy's greatest powers. And though the threat of the Galactic Council loomed larger than ever, humanity was not afraid. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Earth had become a force to be reckoned with, and no one, not even the mighty Galactic Council, would stop them. The void of space was colder than ever as Earth's fleet approached the coordinates of the first strike. The stars, once symbols of distant hope, now seemed like an endless ocean of potential doom. Commander Nadia Voss stood on the bridge of the Sovereign, her eyes fixed on the holographic star charts that displayed the enemy fleet's movement. Every crew member on board was tense, aware of the gravity of the situation. For the first time since Earth's exile from the Galactic Council, humanity was about to face a unified force that sought to crush them. The Drakari had been just the beginning. This time, Earth was up against an alliance of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations, and they had one goal in mind: to prevent Earth from becoming a power in the galaxy. But Earth had other plans. They weren't just going to survive. They were going to make the galaxy respect them. Commander, we've entered the enemy's projected attack zone. Lieutenant Harper called out from the tactical station. Our scanners are picking up multiple fleets, at least 6 Council fleets, along with their allied forces. Voss's mind raced. 6 fleets. They were vastly outnumbered, but Earth had something the Council didn't: unpredictability. And the surprise weapons they had developed in secret. Status of our fleet, she asked. Ready and standing by. Griggs' voice echoed over the intercom from Earth's command center. The first wave of ships is deploying now. With our colonies sending reinforcements as we speak, we've got about 200 ships in our immediate sector. Voss nodded. It wasn't nearly enough, but it would have to do. They couldn't rely on numbers alone. Prepare for engagement. We'll meet them head-on. No retreat. No surrender. The Sovereign and the other human ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel into the heart of the enemy's territory. And then the battle began. The first alien ships came into view, huge, menacing vessels with sleek, deadly designs. These were the fleet's heavy hitters, the ones that had been responsible for the destruction of countless weaker civilizations. But as the human fleet closed in, a chill ran through the alien commanders. They weren't prepared for what was coming. Fire everything, Voss shouted. Earth's ships unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, missiles, and cutting-edge kinetic weaponry that even the most advanced Council ships had never encountered. The Sovereign's powerful pulse cannons blasted through enemy shields, sending alien ships spiraling into chaos. Earth's technology, based on ancient, long-lost knowledge, was far beyond what the Council had anticipated. The first shockwave of destruction rippled through the alien fleets, sending shock and awe throughout their ranks. For the first time in centuries, the mighty Galactic Council fleet was in full retreat. We've broken their lines. Lieutenant Harper called out. They're pulling back. It's working. But just as victory seemed within their grasp, the second wave arrived. The Council had anticipated the human counterattack and had planned for a rapid escalation. Massive warships, each with multiple layers of defensive shields, emerged from behind asteroid fields, flanking the human fleet. The enemy's ships were larger, more advanced, and equipped with far more devastating weapons. A massive plasma cannon from one of the Council's flagship warships struck the Sovereign, sending a shockwave through the bridge. Sparks flew as the shields flared under the pressure, but they held. "We've taken heavy damage," the ship's engineer shouted over the comms. "Shields are at 40%. Voss gritted her teeth. The Sovereign was the pride of Earth's fleet, but even it had its limits. She wasn't going to let that be the end of it. "Redirect power to forward shields," Voss ordered. "And keep up the fire. We're not backing down." The battle raged on. For every alien ship destroyed, 2 more took its place. The humans fought fiercely, holding their ground against impossible odds. Earth's ships moved with the precision of a well-trained army, using every weapon at their disposal: new energy shields, EMP bombs, and experimental long-range cannons that sent shockwaves through the enemy ranks. But despite their bravery, the numbers were against them. One by one, Earth's ships began to fall. The battle was slipping away from them. "We can't hold much longer." Harper's voice was filled with urgency. "We need reinforcements, or we'll be wiped out." Voss's heart pounded. She knew they were on the edge of annihilation. But then, something unexpected happened. A fleet of ships appeared on the far edge of the battlefield, moving with astonishing speed. They were human ships, but not Earth ships. "What is that?" Harper asked, confused. The ships were sleek, with the unmistakable design of the colony fleets. They were smaller than Earth's main warships but far faster, able to weave through the battlefield like a swarm of bees. As they came into range, they opened fire, their energy blasts tearing through the enemy ranks with precision. "Colonial fleet reinforcements," Voss muttered, relief washing over her. "It's not over yet." The tide of battle shifted once again. With the combined might of Earth's core fleet and its colonies, the aliens were forced to pull back. The battle wasn't over, but for the first time, it seemed like Earth's forces might just have a chance. Voss's eyes gleamed with determination. This fight was far from won, but Earth had just shown the galaxy that it wasn't to be underestimated. The humans had taken the first blow, but they had also delivered one that would echo throughout the galaxy. The Council had thought they could crush humanity without breaking a sweat, but the humans had proved them wrong. The true war was only just beginning. The battle raged on for hours, but the tides had turned. The Galactic Council, once so confident in its superiority, now found itself on the defensive. Earth's fleet, battered but unbroken, had pushed back the first wave. But the Council wasn't giving up so easily. Their forces regrouped again, and they brought in more reinforcements. The battle, it seemed, would never end. Commander Nadia Voss stood on the bridge of the Sovereign, her eyes scanning the endless expanse of the battlefield. Despite the victory they'd just claimed, she knew it wasn't enough. The Council's fleets were vast, and they would continue to fight until Earth was destroyed. But one thing was clear now. The humans were no longer the weaklings they had once been. The galaxy had underestimated them, and now they were about to pay the price. "Report," Voss demanded, her voice cold but focused. "Status is critical, Commander," Lieutenant Harper replied, eyes glued to the screens. "We've lost 2 of our outermost fleets, and our remaining ships are taking heavy damage. The Council's second wave is pushing forward hard." Voss clenched her fists. Her heart was heavy with the realization that the war was not going to be easy. But something within her sparked, something she had learned over the centuries of humanity's survival. When pushed to the edge, humans became their most dangerous. "Commander," Griggs spoke from the comms, "I'm sending you a live feed from the colonies. They've decided to take matters into their own hands." Voss's brow furrowed as the holo-projector flared to life. The faces of various leaders from Earth's colonies appeared, each one grim but resolute. Commander Voss. The voice of Commander Orin from the Mars fleet echoed. We've watched you fight. We've seen what Earth has done. But now, it's time for all of us to unite and finish this. We're activating the new fleet. What new fleet? Voss asked, confused. Griggs looked at her, his eyes wide with disbelief. The prototype fleet, the one that has been in development for the past 2 centuries. Voss's jaw dropped. The prototype fleet was a massive series of ships, unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen, combining human ingenuity, alien tech scavenged from their battles, and ancient weapons uncovered from the forgotten corners of Earth's history. It was the perfect counter to the Council's overwhelming forces. And now, Earth's colonies had completed the final preparations. The hologram flickered, and an enormous metallic fleet materialized on the screens. It wasn't just a fleet. It was a symbol of humanity's resilience, a testament to the fact that they would not be silenced. The new ships were faster, stronger, and more advanced than anything the Council had ever encountered. Their weapons were unlike any seen in the galaxy, capable of devastating enemy fleets with a single well-placed shot. The feed showed the moment when the new fleet jumped into real space, the ships appearing as a blur of raw power, and the galaxy seemed to gasp in shock. The Earth had created a weapon of unimaginable scale, and now the galaxy would feel its wrath. Commander Voss, Orin continued, this is our final act. The Council may have the numbers, but we have the resolve. We will end this war, once and for all. A deadly silence spread through the bridge. The entire fleet, from Earth to its colonies, was united now, and the enemy had no idea what was coming. Voss straightened, her eyes burning with resolve. Initiate the final strike. For Earth. For humanity. With a deep breath, she spoke her next words with full conviction, knowing they would reverberate across the galaxy. Let's end this. The human fleet, with its new prototype ships leading the charge, surged forward in perfect synchronization. For the first time in history, the Galactic Council's forces faltered, not because of a lack of strength, but because of something much greater. The indomitable will of a species that had been written off, ignored, and banished to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. The final showdown had begun. The Council, once proud and mighty, now had to face Earth's full fury, an unstoppable power born from centuries of survival, sacrifice, and unity. And as Earth's fleet tore through the enemy lines, one thing became clear. Humanity was no longer just a backwater planet. They were a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy had thought they could shun Earth, but now, the entire galaxy would have to answer to Earth's wrath. It was the beginning of a new era. An era where Earth would no longer be a footnote in history, but the dominant force in the galaxy. The Council had underestimated them, and now they were paying the price. Earth's empire had begun.